Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. We went to our first ever record collector's show. Ever. I know, crazy, right? It was the only one I've ever really had the means to go to. Every time they corrugate near me, it's just not the right time for me. It's just not a time where music is in my budget, which is so unfortunate. However, we invited some of our friends from out of town who drove all the way in just to pick up some records themselves, and between the two of us, we made a pretty big dent. I don't know about you guys, but around here the record shop selection for punk music is pretty generic. You've got your NoFX, you've got your Leftover Crack, you've got your Less Than Jake, which I can be less than interested in. It's just kind of brutal, and it's really underwhelming. It does get really redundant and annoying to be sifting through and finding the same stuff in pretty much every record store. I truly believe that a lot of record store owners don't really care about the genre, so they barely stock it with a bunch of overpriced, overdone, washed down punk and call it a day. We were pretty much in heaven seeing crates and crates and crates of local Canadian punk and UK punk. These are things that are just lacking in our day-to-day record store adventures. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree. Curious to know. As you saw, I have a lot to get into, so let's just start talking about it. First up, we grabbed a little 7-inch. It was the only 7-inch of the night. It is this Discharge self-titled, I want to call it. You guys have probably seen this image on the internet at least once before. This is a pretty iconic record. It was only $7, so you know, couldn't pass this little guy up. This is our first ever Discharge album, and they're a bit heavy for me, but in the right moods, I can vibe with this. I have a new pressing of Motorhead's Orgasmatron. I've been in the market and slowly building up my collection of Motorhead albums. I've now acquired 8 or 9, but Orgasmatron was the next on my list to pick up, and I did find an older pressing for $40, but after buying so many records already, I went with the new pressing because it was half the price. It would have been really cool to take home that old school pressing, but wasn't happening. Nonetheless, I'm really excited to bust into this bad boy because I don't think they can do any wrong. But we have the Varukers. This one is definitely a Justin album. I love it as well. But it's his old school 80s UK punk that he's all about lately. So this one is a compilation. It says Rare and Unreleased from 1980 to 1985. So far we are really enjoying this record. Our needle broke last week after our Halloween party, which was such a bummer, so we haven't been able to listen to these recently. Breaks my little heart. I grabbed my first ever Blitzed album. Blitz? However you want to pronounce it. Blitzed. I don't really know. This one here is just another compilation style disc. It has a bunch of songs from a bunch of different records on it. First time I've ever seen a Blitz album in my life. On my way out of the venue, I spotted this bad boy hanging out on a wall, and I had to take her down and check her out. I've had a lot of people tell me that I should check out the Plasmatics, so I thought that this one would be a perfect first record into the band. It has special guest appearances by Motorhead. I was kind of like sold on that. I was like, at least if I don't like the Plasmatics, then I know there'll be something in here I like, you know? I thought it was like a safe ground for me anyways. Really stoked. I've heard nothing but good things about the Plasmatics, so pretty cool. You guys really have to check this out though. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's like a beautiful baby blue color with no labels. Both sides are labelless, which I've literally never seen before and was terrified that this wasn't the right album. It is, thankfully. This one here was a birthday present to Justin from our friend Jake. This is Bishop's Green, and it is, I think, self-titled. far as I can tell, it's self-titled anyways. Bishop's Green is a fantastic band. You guys should go check them out. Really, really inspiring. The lead singer grew up his whole life being bullied for being homosexual. That comes across a lot in their lyrics, especially the song Alone, which is on this album, which was one of the main reasons why we picked it up. We were streaming this album off of YouTube a ton, so it was really good to actually like buy the record and not feel like we were kind of like cheating them anymore, you know? It's beautiful. It's like the limiest of greens. I got a steal of a deal at the very end of the record collector show. There was a guy whose bins I was sifting through, and he told me 20% off for the next hour. So you better believe I took him up on that offer. I found Girl School, Screaming Blue Murder. First ever Girl School album that I've ever owned. I've been streaming them a lot lately and I really like their vibe. They're original like UK rock and roll all girl band. And if you know me lately, I've been all about the girl bands. These guys are legendary and they are still a band to this day. So that's pretty amazing. So far, this album is fantastic. When I put it on, I never listen to it less than once. I always go over and over again. It is so good. What a good find. And 20% off. But when I did the math, I'm pretty sure he gave it to me for 32% off, not 20, so. These last two albums are not from the Record Collectors show. They're just albums that we purchased a while ago. Jake and Aisley, who came up for the Record Collectors show, brought us this PMS 84 album that we bought back in Vancouver, but accidentally left at their house. So it's finally back in our hands, and we finally get to listen to it. They were fantastic. We watched them at Have a Good Laugh Fest in Vancouver, and we really, really enjoyed their sound. I'm so stoked to finally be able to like listen to the music again. It's kind of like a little bit of a flashback into Vancouver. And speaking of Vancouver, this band White Lung are from Vancouver. A friend of mine named Dylan introduced me to this band about two months ago, I want to say. I've been really enjoying everything I've found from them on YouTube so far, and thankfully I ran into this album called Paradise on sale at a record shop in Inglewood. So I was really stoked to see that it was on sale because I already really wanted it, and don't you just love when that happens? When the one thing that you're looking for already has a sale sticker on it. Each record kind of has their own sound, and this one is a little bit more of like a synthy, beautiful, uplifting, but also true sounding lyrics, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm like the worst at describing things. Nonetheless, I really have been loving White Lung lately. Also a female lead singer and a female drummer, so check them out. Really enjoying them, and to me, they're basically locals. That's it. It was quite a few. When you add it all up, it was a pretty big haul of records. I'm really excited to get spinning these again. Hopefully we can get our needle situation sorted very soon, because it is so hard to not have the biggest portion of your collection available at all times. I'm certainly not used to that. I really hope you guys enjoy this long overdue record haul. Let me know in the comments down below if you've listened to any of these bands, or if they're any of your guys' favorites, or if you plan to check them out. Let me know. I'm extremely interested in anything you guys gotta say, so hit me up down below and let me know what you're feeling. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys very shortly in a new video. Take care.